There we go. Hang on. Have we? We are live, yes. Finally. Few little technical difficulties, but we're up and running now, ladies and gents. Okie dokie, so, hi Judy, welcome to Nerd.exe, welcome to the stream, and welcome to my island of Tarasaigh, or Tarasaigh, however you pronounce it. So, right, good. I'm hearing myself through the headphones as well. That's going to distract me. Alrighty, so let's get crack-a-lacking, shall we then, ladies and gents? So, welcome to the island. My island is called Tarasaigh. Now, with Animal Crossing and stuff, you can't change your island name once you get started, so you're going to want to make sure that you've picked a good name, a name that you're happy with, and a name that you're not gonna get embarrassed by like 10 years down the line. So about 2 weeks before the game released, a little bit late admittedly, I started looking for what I was going to call my island. And I decided to start looking up real life islands that are deserted or uninhabited, because the whole premise of Animal Crossing New Horizons, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock for the past 2 months, the whole premise of it is Tom Nook, who is the resident money laundering raccoon, well, he's not a raccoon, he's a tanuki, he has decided he's got his own business and he's going to set up his own island getaway package. You're going to be going to a deserted island with 2 random animals from the Jock and Uchi personality thingamajig. And you're going to get to this random island, a random deserted island. And it is your job as the voted for resident representative to make the island flourish and prosper. And the ultimate end goal of it is that you get 3 stars out of 5 for your island, and that the illustrious, well-renowned musician KK Slider will perform on your island. So, looking through deserted island names and stuff, I came up with a list. I whittled that down to a couple of choices, and then I had my rabbit pick the name out of a cup, and he picked Tarasaigh. So Tarasaigh is the Gaelic name for the island of Tarasaigh, which is just off the coast of Scotland. I think it is southwest Scotland. Not entirely sure on that geography there. Just a second. Sorry. Not entirely sure on that geography there, but the island is deserted. Well, say it's deserted. It was used for a TV set for a while, back in the 90s, I think. And then in the mid-2010s, I think it was purchased privately. So yes, there's a little bit of backstory on the island and the island name. So let's get on with the tour. So immediately walking out to the airport, you are hit with a little sign that I designed. I put in the big map of the island here into one of those QR code creators online, and it came up with this. I mean, it's not exactly the most accurate representation of the map, but there you go. As a side note as well, everything on the island has been designed by me. Like the signs, there's like leaves scattered around and stuff. Everything's been designed by yours truly. So this is the main concourse. this is the main sort of like residential shopping district sort of area. There's Stitches up there. Oh, and Marshall. Hi, Marshall. But we'll talk about the villages in a little bit. But there's just like little seating areas and stuff, and a little pond. And then there's the first section of the beach here. Got a few towels down. We've gone for a hibiscus fabric patterned theme. Got that anchor from the fishing tourney. I wish I'd kind of put a bit more effort into the fishing tourney though, because there's a few more things I kind of like. So immediately stepping out to the airport, you're greeted with the sign and also Able Sisters, which I haven't actually been in yet today, which is a shocker, because I am well known in my circle of Animal Crossing chums for being the fashionista, sort of. So on the back wall here, everything's designed by myself, bar one piece of clothing. So I play another game called Overwatch, and my main characters that I play as on Overwatch are Diva and Mercy. So obviously I had to make a Diva hoodie and matching baseball cap, and a Mercy hoodie with matching baseball cap. And then I also created this like little yellow coat and the Stroboter sort of hat that's above it. And then the dress that is in the top right hand corner is something that I am incredibly proud of. I'm not very good at designing things on Animal Crossing, but damn did I do good with that. So basically, I started watching The Witcher, absolutely loved it. My town theme is actually toss a coin to your Witcher. But yes, anyway, so that dress up there in that top right hand corner is the dress that Yennefer of Vengerberg wears when she first meets Geralt. And then the B shirt that's underneath, that is a shirt that my very lovely best friend Tally designed and put up in my shop for me so that I can have it. So that's just a quick little thing of that. Alright, and see you later then, Sable. See you later, love. So we come out of Able Sisters and we carry on along the main sort of concourse, and we come across this area, which is resident services. Now the main plaza bit you can't actually put stuff in, it's only outside, and as soon as I saw this item I knew I had to have it. This is a street organ. I'll have to pull it out a little bit for me to show it off properly. I did have the dark coloured version originally, but I ended up switching it out to this lighter version, and just watch the magic. As soon as I saw that little street organ, it just reminded me of like just European cities, European towns and all that. I just have to have that in. I don't think my bench is placed outside of my bench or fountain. It's my fountain, isn't it? Just a second. Totally unprofessional, I know. I keep having to shift my bloody fountain back into place because the bloody thing keeps getting picked up when I'm trying to pick up benches, branches and stuff as I'm going round. But here is the resident services. It's a Saturday evening, so we have KK. So we might have a delightful tune-off hymn later. But we carry on past resident services, and we come to Nook's Cranny, which is the general store in the game. And then we lead on from Nook's Cranny, and I was going to put a shell arch in here before I started streaming, but I ended up not having time to, and completely forgetting as well. But this is the main area of the beach, and there is a blue bear. I will carry on picking up shells for my shell arch though while I'm on the beach. There's a little beach ball there. Boing, 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 boing. And as you can see, we've still got the hibiscus themes, and there's a little squirty there, a little manila clam. It's my favourite flavour of that clam. There's a clam then. Can't really talk today. But yes, this is the beach. We And when the fishing tourney starts up again, when the next one is, I'm going to try for another fishing rod stand. I did get one, but I bought that off somebody on the Animal Crossing forums. But yes, I want another fishing rod stand to go here, because this bit looks a little bit bare. I did, however, get this iPad Tarasaigh the other day, a new Animal Crossing friend that I've got. But anyway, go away. Anyway, so we start on the first of our villager houses. So this is Phoebe. Phoebe was the Uchi villager that I started off with. All my villagers have a little garden to the side here. They all have a table and 2 chairs, and also a piece of furniture that relates to them or their personality. I didn't really know what to put for Phoebe though, so I just kind of put a swinging bench in. All my female villagers though have the white table and chairs, and all my male villagers have the black table and chairs, and also all my villagers have personalised door plates. So, and they also have flowers that sort of match them as well. So Knox lives here. He's also known as the Bell Chicken. And he has a gun outside of his house because his house is very gold, very regal. It's got a lot of like golden caskets in, and he's got like a little red carpet and stuff. And yeah, they've got some benches that are overlooking the ocean. And then we have Sky. Sky was poorly this morning and delivered us some medicine. So nobody's poorly on the stream though. Doctor on here. Anyway, so Sky has little shell fans in. I didn't really know what to put in for Sky. But yeah. So here you can see a little bit of something that's coming later. But we've got one of our little picnic site here. I will be showing off the museum, but I will be showing that off later in the stream. And a second picnic site there. And then we come across the next lot of villager houses. So this is Chief's house. Chief unfortunately told me that he was moving out though. He said that he was moving out today. So yes, I will be island hopping tomorrow, looking for a replacement for Chief. Not too bummed out though, because Chief was an amiibo that I moved in. This whole row here pretty much are amiibos that I moved in. They're the villagers that I really wanted. And Chief was just kind of like a last minute addition. It was like in the pile of amiibos that I didn't mind, but wasn't like desperate to have in. Same with Knox actually as well. I only really moved Knox in because I wanted to move Tad, who was my other original villager. So yes. And then we have Clay, who lives here. He's an adorable little hamster. We'll pop in and say hi to him, just so I can show him off to you. Clay was a villager that I fell in love with in New Leaf. I have played pretty much all the Animal Crossing games, apart from GameCube. Excuse me. So my very first Animal Crossing game was Wild World for the DS. So here is Clay though. He's an adorable little hamster, and I love him and I love his aesthetic. And he's a lazy type villager. Pretty much all my villagers fit into, I think it's 3 or 4 personality categories. There's only 2 that don't. But next here is Bluebear's house, and then here is Kiki's house. So Bluebear I fell in love with from City Folk, and Kiki I fell in love with from Wild World. Oh, and Kiki's crafting. What are you crafting there, love? What are you doing? What are you up to? Oh, a hedge stand. You already got it. I have well over half of the Oh, I guess I don't already know it. Oh, well, there you go. I am stood corrected here. But yes, I do have well over half of the DIYs available. Oh yes, that's Kiki's house. I love Kiki. She's a cutie pie. I kind of actually shipped her and Chief together because they were always spending time together, and now she's gonna have to find herself a new beau because Chief is moving out. So this is a little section of my orchard. Every single part of my island, bar one area, you can actually get to without using tools. Because I set it up that way because I'm lazy and I don't like to keep getting the tools out to get to places. So this is one half of the main area of my fruit orchard, and here is the second half. And then we come down here and there is the rest of the villager houses. So here is Marshall's house. Marshall is actually the only villager that I haven't crafted the special furniture that's outside their house. Because you can't craft the menu chalkboard, and I didn't really know what else to put out for Marshall, because his house is set up very much like a coffee shop sort of thing. I just thought the menu chalkboard looked better and stuff. But I will say off the bat that I have really looked out with my villagers. I mean, if I get out my map and show you. Kiki was amiibo, Blue Bear's amiibo, Clay's amiibo. Agent S was the very first. Oh no, sorry, Sky was the very first villager that I saw on a random island when I started up the game. Then I found Stitches, and then I found Agent S. And then Marshall was my very first camper. And if you don't know, you have to accept your very first camper. If you don't accept your first camper, then nobody else can move into the campsite. So, but there's Stitches. Excuse me, Stitches, my love. I just need to get past you. So we'll come up from this residential bit, and we will go up here to the campsite. Now, the campsite was actually one of the very first areas that I finished up. And yes, that is a scorpion and a tarantula model that I have there in the campsite. I got the inspiration from that from a friend. I went over to their island to go shopping and to just have a general nosy, and I spotted the tarantula model and I felt it was real, and I thought, oh god, there's a tarantula, oh god, and scared me a bit, and then I thought, hang on a minute, daytime, tarantulas don't spawn in the daytime. And then I went past to go back down and saw the tarantula model again, and it got me a second time. But we've got just like a little camp stove, and then got a campsite sign that I got from the Pocket Camp collaboration. And then we've got a tourist telescope. Kind of makes me sad that we can't actually use these and like look out of them on the other bits of the island. And then of course a campsite wouldn't be complete without a proper little campfire and an acoustic guitar to be strumming along on. I actually got this campfire off a friend. He has an island in the southern hemisphere. And I helped him out because he had to restart his island completely because his switch went belly up. So when he restarted his island, he restarted it in the southern hemisphere, and it crafted me this campfire, which is going to be an autumn thing for us in the northern hemisphere, and also these leaf piles as well, and a few other things. Thought that was very generous of him. So we hop over the river here, and we come up to, come up to another area of the island that I'm particularly proud of. So this section here is my Japanese garden. I am really quite proud of it. It's oh dear, I didn't want to hop over there, thank you. I'm pretty pleased with how it's looking, to be honest with you. How I wanted it to look was like an old Japanese temple that had gone into ruin, and like nature had started to take over and stuff. So that's why we've got the little bits of fencing and stuff and that sort of thing. I'm just gonna have a quick drink though, because I think I'm feeling coughing a bit now. There we go. So yes, I saw this elaborate kimono stand in the shop the other day, and I was like, I need that. I don't care how much it is, I need that. And it ended up being a pretty penny. So, but yes, there's like this little shrine here. There's like a scripture tablet kind of thing there. It's daisies, and like there's flowers and bamboo growing everywhere, and stuff. So yeah, I'm quite proud of my Japanese garden. I ended up chopping it down a little bit in size for the area that we're going to next. So yeah, but I'm happy I made it work because I wasn't happy with how the entrance was at all. But I've made it work. So this area here is my cemetery. I ended up getting this statue from Red. I know that it's fake. I know it's not the genuine article. But I like it. It's pretty. There's a few other pieces from Red that I want. We'll go through those later. But I didn't really know where to put it. It's pretty, but I didn't know where to put it. So I asked an Animal Crossing friend for their opinion, and she suggested doing a cemetery, and that's what I ended up doing. Hello, Trippy Glitches. Hi, sorry, I had my my notepad covering up the comments. So hi, Trippy Glitches. Hi. So yeah. Anyway, this is the graveyard, and then we will turn this way, and we will go across the river again, and hop across this river again. Come on. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly with the river hopping, but you don't need to at all, apart from the area that we're going to be going to soon. So, as you can tell by this sign here, we are in the B area, and if you know me at all, then this sort of area was going to be a given. I absolutely love bees. I know that probably sounds really weird, but bees are like one of my favourite things on the planet. I always try and help them out if I can. Sounds really weird, but if I find one that's died on the floor, then I have to give it a little funeral, thank it for for what it's done, because without bees, we'd be pretty screwed. So this place was originally my hybrid nursery, where I was growing all my hybrids. I obviously haven't grown these blue roses. I bought those off the Animal Crossing forums. Do you really think that I would have enough patience to grow blue roses? But that's the B area. And then there is my secret beach. It's just kind of pretty much how I left it from when I first started the island up. There's also a sneaky little craft bench there, so I don't have to rush home if any of my tools break while I'm up at this area. And then we come to possibly my favourite area of the island. This sort of area I have wanted to do for a very long time. My new leaf town, I tried to set up this sort of thing, like with the Japanese garden in this sort of area, but it just didn't work, and I couldn't get it to work at all. But this area here is my secret fairy forest. So we have up here a fairy rectangle, because I couldn't make it into a fairy ring. And we have various other bits and pieces. There's like only pink and white flowers in here. There's cherry blossom things. These are pink camellia bushes. And there's mushrooms everywhere and stuff. And yeah, I'm just really, really happy with this area and how it looks. So yeah. It looks definitely a lot better than how I had my fairy area on New Leaf. And this is the only area on the island that you need a lot of for. So we will come round here. We'll come round here and hop over the little stream because we have now arrived at the museum. So yes, that is supposed to be a Triceratops there on that side. It's a bit of a wonky looking Triceratops, but at least it's not as wonky looking as this. It was supposed to kind of look like the this human ancestor skull, but it doesn't look like that at all. So I will quickly take you around my museum. I mean, once you've been in one Animal Crossing museum, you've kind of been in them all, really. I am fully up to date with bugs and fish, and I have some from the other months as well from a friend on the southern hemisphere. I am one fossil away from completing all my fossils, and I am quite a few paintings off because Red refuses to show up on my island. So this is the first area of my books, and we'll start off with the we'll carry on round to the not as nice books, and then we'll go into the nice books. So you'll know already, but this is the research lab bit. I absolutely love the hermit crabs. When Flick decides to finally get his little chameleon Tushy back on my island, I have quite a few bugs that I want him to make models of. So far though, he's only been to my island 3 times, so which is rather rude. But I want him to make me a hermit crab, a honeybee, and also a paper kite butterfly. And then we have the 2 crown jewels of the bug exhibit. We have the tarantula and the scorpion. Now let me tell you a little story about our friend here, the tarantula on the left. So, in all of the other games, I have never ever caught a tarantula or a scorpion. I have hardly ever seen them. So when I first saw the tarantula on this, given that this game is a hell of a lot more detailed than its predecessors, I was like, oh my gosh! Oops. I'm like, oh my gosh! It's a tarantula! Ah! So since I was freaking out, I tried to catch it and it ran up and bit me. And then it proceeded to go home and tell all of its other tarantula friends about the human that it mugged off. So yes, I tried a few more times to catch it, but each time I was too far away. The distance between us was just too short. And then, I think 4 days into playing, because I got it on release day, obviously, I stumbled across Tarantula Island, and I do believe that I think I was one of the first people to find it. But there was where my tarantula catching skills were born. I honed them in on that island, and I came up with the now patented plop. No, sorry, butt wiggle plop creep technique to catch tarantulas and also scorpions. So tarantulas, when you have your net out, that's when they're gonna wanna bite you. If you don't have your net out and you run all over them, then they leg it like any normal bug. But if you creep up to a tarantula, then it'll raise up its bum like it's going to attack you. If you wait for that tarantula to plop its butt back down and to just keep staring at you, to creep forward with your net, and then as you're creeping forward with your net, it'll raise its butt up again at you. So if you keep doing that, if you keep moving while it's looking dead at you, and then stopping when it raises its bum up, and then creeping forward while it's looking at you, stopping while it's got its bum up, then and you can get close enough, and then you should nab yourself a tarantula. And the same technique applies to the scorpions, except they don't really butt wiggle, they pincer wiggle. So you gotta wait for them to stop pincer wiggling. And also, I think the scorpions are slightly faster than the tarantulas. But yes, I miss my little hairy tarantulas. I don't like you. Anyway, so here is the research lab. We've got moths, we've got fleas, paper kites, and flies. And I also noticed yesterday, because I was sort of doing a run through of the stream, and I noticed that the ants are toing and frogging in this little bit here. I didn't notice that before. But then we've got the mole cricket, which is that annoying little that you can hear coming out of the ground. And then don't know what's supposed to be in here. But we've got the orchid mantis, and then we've got the trash bugs. We've got another moth, we've got a centipede, and a woodlouse, which they call a pillbug on this game, because it's stupid. It's a woodlouse. Anyway, we will move on to arguably my favourite room in the bug exhibit, which is the butterfly house. Now, as a child, I spent a lot of time with my dad going around museums, going around art galleries, and one particular sort of museum that we went to when I was a child was the Butterfly House in Lancaster, the Ashton Memorial. And as soon as I saw this, it instantly took me back to being a kid and going around there with my dad. And I think this room is honestly probably the most beautiful room in the game, and I absolutely love it. I love these guys. I like the emperor butterflies. I also like the birdwing. I like the peacocks. I like the Roger brooks. I like the sunset moths, and I also like those ones. They kind of look a bit like red admirals. So, but anyway, that's the bug room. So, from the bug room, we will speed along into the fish room. So here we have the fish room. The little tiny pond fish, so like goldfish, the ranchu goldfish, and the betta. I thought when I saw the pun for this, they've got it wrong. It should say much better, as in bag of chips from RuPaul's Drag Race UK. If anybody gets that reference, I'd be very happy. But here we have the slightly bigger fish pond pool. We have my koi carp, we've got my snapping turtle, we got a crawfish, we got a catfish, we got a black bass, we got a carp, we got a bitterling, we got a bluegill, and we got a frog. And tadpoles and a loach. I love the pun that comes out or when you catch a frog. Is this a new neighbour? I've got a lot of apologising to do. And in here, I think is where the sharks go. I think, but I guess we'll find out soon. Then we've got the higher up trio of cliff fish. Got the cherry salmon. Can't remember what the other two are called, but there you go. Then we've got the medium river fish, and then we got the sturgeon. So we'll pop through this way to the ocean fish, and then we'll go see the underwater boys and the big boys. So in here is my favourite fish to catch. Not that idiot. That's a sea bass. Nobody likes you. But this little guy here, the red snapper, is very dapper. I like him because he's a solid 3,000 bells if you sell him. But we also have Ollifanders, dabs, bad knife jaws, the fish that can't make up whether it's land, air or water. There's every turkey fish. You can tell I catch a lot of these fish a lot because I can remember the puns. And then we also have Nemo, we've got Dory, and we've got the one that I think liked Bubbles when the bubbles came out of the treasure chest. Anyway, but we need more. We need more in there when we get to summer. So, and then we've got sea butterflies. And then we go this way to the deep boys and the big boys. So, we'll do the deep boys first. Do the deep boys. Oops. So, deep boys. We've got an oarfish, got a coelacanth, we've got a football fish, also known as an anglerfish, and we have a barrel-eye. And let me tell you something, boys and girls, ladies and gents, that barrel-eye took me a very long time to catch. There were a lot of late-night fishing excursions that were involved in catching that little beggar. So, but yes, we have the deep boys. And then, oopsies, got caught on the pollen. And then we'll come over here and we've got the big boys. So, we've got the mahi-mahi. Well, I think that's how it's pronounced. We've got the blue marlin, we've got the giant trevally, we've got the anchovies, we've got the horse mackerel, and we've got the tuna. Now, it took me a while to get the tuna as well. Didn't take me too long to get the giant trevally, the mahi-mahi, or the blue marlin. I actually came across the blue marlin by luck on a random island, same with the giant trevally. And then I did actually go out on my way to make fish bait to try and catch the mahi-mahi and the tuna. It's just that I caught the mahi-mahi a little bit sooner. Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. So we'll move on to the fossils bit next, I think. I am missing one fossil from today. Before I got set up and started doing stuff this afternoon and whatever and getting ready to do the stream, I was tidying up the island a bit, like picking up all the weeds, tree branches, digging me rocks, etc, etc, finding me fossils. And I can't find the last one. We're supposed to have 4 in, and I just can't find my last fossil. I've literally looked everywhere. I've dug up all along the back edges of my cliffs. I've literally looked everywhere for that little sod. I can't find it. So, but anyway, here is all the little diddly fossils. And yeah, not much to say about these guys. They're diddly. They're cool. That does not look like a shark tooth, but there you go. Apparently it's a shark tooth pattern, but who am I to complain, eh? What do I know about fossils? Not a lot. And then we have the aquatic boys. This is the little munchkin that I'm missing the last piece of. I'm missing a right petra wing. The right wing. Oh, no, sorry, not petra. Terra wing, I think, because P silent, I think. So I'm missing the right wing of the pterodon. Pterodon? I don't know how you pronounce it, but anyway. If it wasn't for this stamp rally, though, I wouldn't have figured out how you get to see the this big meteor up in the corner here. But anyway, we got a Stegosaurus. We got, I think, an Ankylosaurus. Got these two. I don't know what they are. I know what this one is, though. This one's a Triceratops. And then we got the T-Rex. Then we got dinosaur poop as well. And then I know that one. That one's an Archaeopteryx. I like this little guy. This one's a Jeremiah. I like him. He's cute. And yes, I didn't know that if you stepped on this blue spot here, it makes a noise, and you get to see the meteor and the big boys. The big boys in all their glory. So we've got the Brontosaurus, and the... Is it Brontosaurus? Diplodocus, that's the one. Diplodocus and the Brontosaurus. Oh, Brachiosaurus even, sorry, wrong dinosaur. I'm smart, but I don't know too much about dinosaurs. Leave me alone. And then we have possibly my favourite room in the dinosaur exhibit. I love this bit up here, that all of the villager animal types and stuff connect to some form of ancient fossilized relative in the dinosaur exhibit, and I especially love this little bit down here. There we go. That's me great Uncle Norman. Hiya Norman. How you doing, lad? You're right. Anyway, so this is pretty much it for the fossils. Again, like I said, only missing one of the little buggers. So yes, hopefully, and knowing my luck, that one fossil that I can't find from today will be the last burning fossil that I need, won't it? So we'll come out of the fossil bit and go to probably my favourite bit in the museum, which is the art gallery. So, if you didn't know, I'm a little bit of an art nerd. Again, raised going around art galleries and museums as a kid, and my dad is an artist. He went to uni, did a degree in fine art. I am an artist, sort of. Went to uni and did a degree in photography. So me and my dad are pretty hot on our art. So, but unfortunately, Red never comes to my bloody island, so I never get anything. But this was the first painting I got off Red. I have seen this one in person. This one is a Manet. That one is a Turner. I love that one. My dad is also a big fan of Turner. That is a Velazquez. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And then we have arguably one of my favourite paintings, The Birth of Venus by Botticelli. I'm also looking forward to getting Ophelia, which is the sinking painting, I think it's called in game. I also want The Thinker by Rodin, which is a sculpture. I also want the Terracotta Warrior, which is another sculpture. I also want Michelangelo's David. I also want, I can't remember what the painting is called, both in game and out of the game. But it's like a little castle and it's in a load of fog. But I really want that. And yeah, I think there's a couple others that I want, but those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I think I want Venus de Milo. And Nike or Samothrace as well. Nike or Samothrace is the fake that I have in my graveyard. So obviously we don't want the fake, we want the legit one, thank you. So I'll see you later, blathers. Thank you very much for hosting us in this. So, for the next section of the tour, I am going to just let you know that this is going to be a trigger warning. If you are affected by the mentions of suicide or talking about it or anything like that at all, then this section of the stream isn't going to be for you, unfortunately. But there is the trigger warning, and yes. So, this section of the island is a bit of a personal one. This section of the island is a local memorial area. It's a memorial area for my cousin, who committed suicide when I was 3. It's a memorial area, well, not a memorial area for this specific purpose, but it's an area for friends that I've had who have attempted suicide. It's an area for mental health and mental health awareness, and it's also an area for myself and for my own mental health and my own mental health struggles. Late 2018, my mental health was pretty bad. It had been slowly snowballing into what it was for a very long time. I ended up going and seeing the doctor. She diagnosed me with the high end of mild depression, anxiety, and also OCD. I had also been made redundant, although that wasn't a cause of depression. Where I worked was a cause of depression, so the redundancy was actually a silver lining. But anyway, so I went through October into January, feeling quite alone, feeling quite numb, and just generally not feeling 100% myself. And I couldn't exactly quite put a finger on how I was feeling or why I was feeling that way. And then it hit me. I didn't feel like anyone would miss me if I didn't wake up in the morning. I've never actually been suicidal. I'm too scared of death and what have you to actually act on it. But I certainly have wished that I wasn't here. Certainly wished that I wasn't born. And various other similar thoughts. So I wanted to make this area. I knew that I wanted to make this area pretty early on. So there's just a simple gravestone, there's flowers, and then there's also a pair of shoes at the edge of the water because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Japanese culture, suicide is not exactly seen as much of a taboo as it is over here in the West. In fact, back in ancient Japan, for the samurais, if they were captured by the enemy, then suicide was actually a more honourable death. But the Japanese believe that if you are going to take your own life, then you should take off your shoes before you do so, because then you are not tracking the metaphorical, physical, emotional, and mental dirt from this world into the afterlife. So that's what those shoes are there to symbolise and to represent. But yes, anyway, so that is this area. It's a, like I said, memorial to my cousin, memorial to friends who have suffered with the same dark thoughts and the same dark feelings and stuff. And yeah, that's what this area is for. So we will move on from here now. And we'll hop back over the river and we'll go on to the last area before outside. And we'll go to the last area before, which is going to be my house. My God. So, gotta get ready and everything first. Come on, jump over the river. Thank you. Oh, no, that was the right way. I didn't know. Oopsies! That's one. So, we have a third little picnic area here, and then we come down this bit after you cross the bridge from the main sort of like concourse area. Sorry, quick drink. We come down this way and into my garden. So this is my garden, and this is, I like to think that this like half of the map is mine, or this part of the map is mine. So all like the beach and everything, the cliffs up there, all this area is mine. You know, I've put the effort into this island to get it to a 5-star rating. I put the effort in to get KK Slider to come. You know, nobody else put the effort in. Nobody else took bells out of their own pockets to pay for anything. I think I'm more the largest section of the island than any of the others. Alright? But anyway, this is the garden. This is the more like industrialish part of the garden. Of course, I've got a beehive in there with factory flowers, including the coveted 5-star island lily of the valley. And then I got a couple of toolboxes, my bin, and my workbench. And then around here, I've got my table and chairs. Hi there. My washing line and washing basket to wash my clothes. A little water pump to get water out of the pondy thing. And then we go knocking up and go into my house. So first up, we have my living room. Wasn't too happy about my living room. Feeling a little happier about it now and stuff. So this is a bit of a 360 of it. I just realised I can't actually see my radiator that I've got on the wall over there. That's a bit stupid, isn't it? I'll pop it there instead. Near me, my sewing machine. There we go, that's better. You can see my radiator now. But I've got a little record player, sewing box, umbrella stand, key holder, coat stand, a phone, sewing machine, chess set, a little train set that a friend sent me. I have this one, which is the summer one, and the winter one, which I will be putting out when it's Christmas. And then I have a cherry blossom doodad there, which is way bigger than it should be. It says that it takes up 4 squares, but it's only a little diddly pot. But there you go. Then I've got a little ship in a bottle, a little duck. The duck actually does have a meaning behind it. My dad created a few wooden sculptures that he was going to cast and turn into like concrete garden ornaments, I think they were, and one of them was a little duck, and the duck decoy looks pretty similar to the little duck that my dad made. So, and then we got a little cuckoo clock on the wall that you can't really see that great. There we go, that's a bit better. Then we got the little aroma pot, a succulent terrarium thing, because I absolutely love succulents. I actually repotted my succulent garden before I started the stream, and I dropped one of my cacti on my feet, and it hurt a lot. But then we also have a little workbench in here, and then we do have a little story behind the macrame tapestries. I started getting into RuPaul's Drag Race, and my absolute favourite queen is Bianca Del Rio, and in one of the episodes, Laganja Stranger, yes mama, she has a like fabric thingamajiggy on her head. And Bianca describes it as a macrame pot holder on her head. So of course I had to have the macrame tapestries in there. I know it's a little bit of an obscure story, but it's fine. But then the room to the left is my kitchen. The reason why I didn't start waffling while when we came in then was because I wanted you to listen to what was playing. I heard this on YouTube because I looked up all the secret songs, and I really like Paris accordion music, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is just like being in Paris. Oh! And then I scrolled down and looked at the comments, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not realise this? Because people were saying that it was the theme from the city in City Folk, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, how did I not realise that? So yes, I like I like this song. It's called Animal City, if you're wanting to know. But yes, my kitchen. There was a inspiration picture that I used for my kitchen on New Leaf, and I decided to use it for inspiration for my kitchen on here as well, because I was a little bit stuck for ideas for what to do with my kitchen. But the only real differences between the picture and this are there isn't really a proper plant divider, so I just stuck 2 cypress plants in, and the ironwood dresser that's in the corner with the dishes on, that's also not exactly the same. And there's also supposed to be a bonsai in there, but I don't have the recipe for the pine bonsai yet because we're not in autumn. But yes, this is my kitchen. And so we've got the sinks, we've got cookers, we've got a blue marlin on that wall. How cool is my my mounted blue marlin? I saw that in a Nooks on somebody else's island, and I was like, okay, I need that for my kitchen. So that's why that's there. And then also got a little burning stove, broom and dustpan, and a clock, of course, because, well, don't need to know what time food is. It's food time all the time for me. I mean, come on a seafood diet, seafood, and I eat it. But if we go into the room on the right, we go into my office. So here is my office. Oh, 7 o'clock, ding dong ding. We've got 2 desks. I absolutely love this colourway of the book. It's the encyclopedia colourway, and it's got all the butterflies in it. Then we've got a bookshelf, typewriter, a document stack, essay set, another macrame tapestry, a little violin, because I have a violin in real life but can't play it. And then metronome, another record player, a constellation poster, because if you don't know me, then I absolutely love the stars and constellations. Little sofa, because it's a dream in my office in my head that I have like a really cozy like book / reading nook. And then a globe and a big grandfather clock that we just had the pleasure of hearing. And then we'll go this back out into the to the living room. And then the back room here is one that's not quite finished off just yet. There's 2 rooms that aren't finished off, this room and the basement. But this is like a little projection / movie room. So I've got like a pinball machine, billiard table, again, wood burning stove, mini fridge, popcorn machine, sofas. I was going to try and do something with the simple panels for the projector, but I couldn't really get it to work. And if you are also a anime fan, like me, that little picture on the bottom right of the autograph cards, it looks like Space Dandy, I think. But yes, anyway, so we'll head on up to my bedroom, and then I'll show you the basement, which, even though isn't finished, is probably the prettiest room in the house. So here is my bedroom. We have a cozy little seating area here, and the cozy little seating area has a TV, and there is the first of my pets, my little goldfish. He's called Admiral Bubbles. And then we have my bed, obviously, books next to it, obviously, and wardrobe. And then, because I had my laptop in my room in real life and stuff, you know, I had to have a little desk and chair in here. Then we got another cuckoo clock, more macrame tapestries. And then we've got my second pet, which is Shirley. Shirley, me snapping turtle. Listen to her roar! Roar! Absolutely love the snapping sounds a lot. But yes, Shirley, my love. Got obviously non-bedroom stuff like wardrobe and whatever. And then on this back wall here, we have my real life love of my life. My little bunny rabbit. He's called Kirby. He's 9 this year. 9 in June actually, so less than a month away. And he's an absolute cutie pie. He's the love of my life, and I don't care if you think I'm weird for saying that a rabbit's the love of my life. He is. He's an absolute sweetheart, and I love him to bits and pieces. So yes, I like I did with the town map. I imported a picture of him onto that QR code scanner thing. So, but yes, he's a cutie pie, and I love him, and he's in my bedroom, and yeah. I love him. He's my baba. Anyway, I'll stop brushing off my bunny. And then, final room of the house. So, as I mentioned in the office, I absolutely love stars. I love anything to do with stars, constellations, space, that sort of thing. So, this was going to be a photography studio, but I think this is a much better use for it. This is my space room. So I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. So we have constellations that I've done all along the wall. So here, here is Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a constellation that's sort of shaped like a W. It's also known as the chair. And a little bit of backstory, not trying to take Celeste's job or anything, but a little bit of backstory to Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, as I understand it, she was a Grecian queen who thought that she was the most beautiful woman ever to have lived, even more beautiful than Zeus's wife, Hera. And though Zeus played around a lot, he slept with an awful lot of women. Nobody disrespected his missus. Nobody disrespected Hera. So what he did was he said to her, "Fine, you think you're the most beautiful thing in the world? You can be beautiful forever up in the sky then." And he turned her into the constellation. And as I understand it, he also did the same to her daughter and her husband, who we have here. This constellation next to Cassiopeia is called Cephus, and as I just said, Cephus is Cassiopeia's husband. And then the constellation here behind the rocket is Ursa Minor, also known as Little Bear or the Plough. And then this constellation here is Libra. And then arguably the most complicated of the constellations is my star sign, which is Gemini, at the end there. So, but yes, I am so happy, well, nearly happy with this room. There's a few bits and pieces that I want to add in, but like, just this wallpaper and flooring is just like beautiful, like honestly, like, you know, like, I think it's just the most beautiful thing that's in the game, to be honest with you. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I had the idea for the star room, and I just had to do it. You know, it's just one of those things. Nothing more to say really about that. So yes, I'll walk you back to the airport though. You know, just before you go, I'll walk you back to the airport. Make sure you get back there safely. You know, don't want you getting kidnapped by any other villagers or anything. So yes, this is my island. This is what I have spent probably now over 500 hours working on over lockdown. And yes, this is Tarasaigh. This is the 5-star island. And yes, am I happy with it for now? Yes. Will I probably change it in the future? Yes. Because one thing about me is that, you know, I might be happy about something, you know, not want to like change it or anything. But then when things get a little bit stale, when things have been a certain way for a certain length of time, I want to change it up. Like for example, my villagers. I've been a little bit fed up with what villagers I have, but you know, I feel lucky that I've got the villagers that I've got and stuff. You know, because there's a lot of people out there who'd probably sell a kidney to get some of the villagers that I have, especially Marshall. But yes, there we go. That is my island. I would like to thank you very much for joining. If you joined on the stream, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you've watched this after it is streamed, and I hope that you'll all continue to stay safe. And whatever in lockdown, and I'll see you later. Bye.